Welcome to our English class today, smart students. We're very lucky to be doing this class today, the third part of this first chapter concerning the autobiography of Sunil Gavaskar. Before we start, let's review what we did in the second part of this English class. We started by using compound words, and we developed our own compound words, and we did some homework. Homework itself is a compound word made of home and work. And when you put them together, you get homework. And you can do your homework sometimes in your classroom. You don't have to do it at home. And we have other compound words such as staircase or car park. Car park refers to a parking garage. We have other words too called gas stove or fisherwoman. So many we discussed last time. And then we discussed the paragraphs that were written by Sunil Gavaskar. And he wrote it beautifully, but he has some nice vocabulary, and I'd like to go over some word meanings before we go into that. So I'd like to go over the word meanings of alike, A-L-I-K-E. Alike means similar. In the story, the two babies were similar, and that's why they got switched. Also, English is a very profound language. We can say alike, or we can say alike, which refers to a town located here in southern India. The next word is frantic. Frantic is a word that means very great. You're very excited. You're frantic. You want to do something. They were frantically looking for this child who was lost. The next word is blissfully. We've all heard of the word bliss, but blissfully means a lot of bliss. We do it in we're blissfully blessed, and we're in such a good mood. And this word is used nicely in the story with a lot of bliss. Providence, a fantastic word, also means God. Providence looked after Sunil Gavaskar, and God looks after us. Next word is cliche. This is one of the most fun words in the English language. English language loves to have funny words and funny sentences, and they call them cliches. In the story itself, the cliche used by Sunil was that cricket playing was in his blood. His family loved cricket, he loved cricket, everybody loved cricket. It was in his blood. He had to become a cricket player. But there's other cliches. I'll give you a couple of them. Everything happens for a reason, all right? Somebody comes up to you and they complain, and you just tell them very nicely, everything happens for a reason. And it gets you out of the predicament. And it is a cliche that's used quite a bit in the English language. There's another cliche, actions speak louder than words. And so you can use this in a number of different ways. Mostly when somebody doesn't want to move, you say, look, actions speak louder than your words. Do some action. Another fun cliche is beggars can't be choosers. A friend of yours comes up to you, or a classmate comes up to you and says, hey, can I borrow your pen? And you take one of your old pens out, you give it to him. And he goes, no, I want the new pen that you got. And you tell him, look, beggars can't be choosers. Another cliche is looks can be deceiving. So we have to be careful to go beyond the looks. Anyway, there's a number of cliches, and we'll go over a few of them later on. So then, in the second lesson, we went over the story of the few paragraphs that were taken out of the autobiography. And now that we know some of these words, let's go through four more words. Succumb. Succumb means to be under the control of or overcome by. You're succumbed by a stronger opponent. Next word is fascinated. Fascinated is you see something, you see a game, you see something, you're so fascinated by it. You see a new shirt, I've got to get that shirt. You're fascinated. The next word is obsession. Obsession is a constant thought that goes on in your mind. You're obsessed with one thought. I've got to be the best English student in this class. I've got to be the best cricket player. And the last word we have is abrupt. Abrupt means something that happens quickly. A storm comes up abruptly. All of a sudden it's there. Or you have an accident, an abrupt stop. Somebody abruptly comes into you. Abrupt means quickly or sudden. So let's go into our class now. And we studied at the end of last class the past tense of certain verbs. And so now we're going to use those past tense verbs in a question, okay? The in-text questions. So let's go into the in-text questions 1.6, 1.5. So the first question we have, we complete the following questions by using the verbs given in the brackets in the simple past tense. Last class we discussed the simple past tense, and we're going to use those words now. When Sunil Gavaskar was born, a relative, and we have in brackets the word come, that's the verb, but we need to put it in the past tense. So remember last class I gave you the irregular verb come, and the past tense is came. So we'll put in here, a relative came to see him in the hospital. His name, now in parentheses we have is. The past tense of is was. So we put was in there. His name was Mr. Narayan Masarkar, and he had sharp eyes. He, in the parentheses, we have the verb notice. And so we need to put it in the past tense. Notice is a regular verb, so to make a regular verb into a past tense verb, we just add D or ED. When there's an E on the end of the word, we just need to add D. So noticed that the newborn baby has, all right? So has is an irregular verb. The past tense of has is had. The baby had a hole in his ear. He looked at the earlobe and he saw there was a small hole there. The next day, when he go, okay, we have the same go here. The past tense of go is went. He went again and picked up the baby. He, and we have the verb here find, and so we have to use past tense. Past tense of find is an irregular verb, it's found. So he found that the hole was missing. Everyone, okay, now the verb we use is start. And then we have to put it in the past tense because everybody already was looking and we're telling it. Everyone started, because this is a regular verb, we just add ed. Everyone started searching for the missing baby. At last, Sunil was found sleeping beside a fisher woman. The past tense is also used when you want to say a situation existed in the past over a period, or that an activity took place regularly in the past. And they give you some examples. Read the following sentences. You'll see there's a tennis ball here. In the past, the mother used to roll the tennis ball and shoot it over to Sunil, and he would bat it back. And you can see he's hit this ball so hard that water is spinning off of it. It must have been wet when they were playing. But he hit it so hard that the ball is spinning around. Anyway, let's look at the following sentences. We played our daily match. The mother and Sunil played every day. We played our daily match with a tennis ball. I loved to linger over the autograph of every player in my uncle's house. So you can see played is in past tense with an ed, and I loved. Love is the verb, and we add a D in the end because there's already an E. I love to linger over the autograph. 3, whenever I batted, they, meaning the other people he was playing with, would decide beforehand, and they would appeal a particular ball, and I had to go with the majority verdict. You remember from the story in last class that he would just take his bat and ball and leave. And they talked to him, they said, look, you got to go with the majority. You have to, if we all call you out, or the umpire calls you out, you have to go along with it. Finally, Sunil agreed to do that. So, that's what happened here on number 3. Sentence number 1 that we just read, okay, means that he liked, that means that Sunil Gavaskar and his mother used to play cricket every day. Okay, it was past tense. Now that's what it means. They play it every day. And number 2 sentence means that he liked to look at the autographs of the players whenever he went to his uncle's house. He would pull out the stump and he would put his hands and look over these autographs of very famous cricket players. And the sentence number 3, okay, means that the boys used to get Sunil Gavaskar out, okay, by appealing together as a majority verdict. Note that in the sentence 3, would is used to denote the past tense. Would and used to are also used when you want to say something that occurred regularly in the past. Very interesting, these 2 words, would and used to. Would has a certain connotation to it. It's a very special word, and it denotes kindness. You can use the would in a sentence. Would you like to do this? Would you like to come to my home? It's a very sweet way to put things. And used to is a bit matter of fact. I used to go to school. I used to do this. But with would, you have a little more empathy. So the words are interchangeable with that slight caveat. And English is a language when you want to express things in a very nice way. So you can mix them up and use them as you feel appropriate. Notice that in the sentences, would is used to denote the past. Would and used to are also used when you want to say something happened regularly in the past. Look at more examples. Look at more examples of used and would. Number 1, when I was a small child, I used to play many games at school. So used to shows in the past, all right? Next sentence. My teacher would always tell me that I would become a great cricket or football player. So would is in the past. The teacher was talking to him in the past. But look at this would. Would is something in the future. Would is a very interesting word, and you can use it in many applications. 3, twice a week, I used to stay back at school for coaching in football. This guy wanted to become a good batsman. He wanted to become a good cricket player. So twice a week, he would stay back. So based on used to and our knowledge of the past tense verbs, simple verbs, we have some questions called in-text questions numbers 1.6. Complete the following paragraphs with the verbs in the past tense. You may use the past tense of the appropriate verb or would or used to. Now this is very important for all of you smart English students. You have to read the questions properly, okay? You take your time. When you know the question, you're halfway there. And in this question, they say you've got 3 choices. You can use would or used to or the past tense of the appropriate verb. You have 3 choices, and they want you to use the correct choice. So, when I was a small child, I lived in Bombay. This is a picture behind the questions here. It's a picture of Bombay taken from the sea. You can see how nice it is out here in the water. So in Bombay High School, so we have to play detective here. He did something in Bombay High School. What do you do in school? Well, we can play in school, we can study in school, we can do a lot of things. So let's give them the benefit of the doubt. And we say, I studied in Bombay High School. That's the past tense of the appropriate verb, study. To go to school, where I. Okay, so when he goes to school, you could say, I used to go to school, I enjoyed going to school, I love going to school. Any one of those is the right word. I used to go to school, where I. Now, what do you do in school? You try to learn things, okay? So this is in the past. So learnt is the right word. I learnt many blank things, all right? So you remember from our instructions, it said use the appropriate form, past tense of the verb, or would or should. Would or used to do not work here, okay? I used, or I learned many things, all right? So enlightened and educate are verbs. So if we use the past tense, I learned many educated things or enlightened things. Because we're taking an enlightening course, let's use the word enlightened things. Then we go further. And then they're just talking about Juhu Beach, which is on the water here. So I used to go, or I would go, either one is correct. I would go to the beach where I used to play or would play with my brother. Each one is fine. We would keep playing. We have to use would or used to. We would keep playing until it was time to return home. On our way home, they're all out with their parents and stuff, so they want to do something fun. So they would, or they used to stop at Quality's Ice Cream Parlor. Why do they go to an ice cream parlor? To get a fun ice cream, right? So, and for ice cream, it would be, or it used to be, an enjoyable day for all of us. So it was a great family day when they went to the beach. So now, we've done some past tense questions, but now we'd like to know how to use them in a more profound way, using them in a negative way, all right? So the negative is when you did not do something, okay? And the negative is of both regular and irregular verbs, all right, are used in the past tense. And they're formed very simply by using did not with the verb, without changing the form of the verb. Did is the magic word here. We're learning about did today. Did helps you out. It's called an auxiliary verb, all right? It helps another verb. And you put the tense in the did. So did not means the negative form of what you're doing. So let's look at an example. He did not see the movie. He was going to go to the movie. He wanted to see the movie, but maybe he didn't have enough money. Somebody else called him away. He did not see the movie. Number 2, Ravi did not tell a lie. All right? Somebody asks you about Ravi's honor and whether he's honest, and you can say Ravi did not tell a lie. So did not in front of tell. Sham did not go for the picnic. Sham was thinking about going for a picnic, but you know he did not go for the picnic. So note here, this is very important. Note that in the above sentences, when the negative is denoted, see, go, and tell, do not take the ed or d form. You don't need to put the past tense on those forms. You've already done it with did or any other change. So we have some questions. Based on what we've just learned, they want to test you, and they want to see if you know what's going on with these past tense verbs, okay? So rewrite the following sentences in the negative. It didn't happen. The first is done for you as an example. I played cricket with my friends, all right? E.g., e.g. means another way also. I did not play cricket with my friends. He played one side, but then he says, I did not play cricket with my friends. So you'll notice when he's in the past tense, I played cricket with my friends. You've already played. But you go and you tell somebody, I did not play cricket with my friends. You use the regular form, okay, play. That's the regular form, the base form, to give the negative sentence. Okay, so they give you that example. Let's go to number 2. My aunt went to Bombay in the holidays. But we are going to tell the person that's talking to us about our aunt, my aunt did not go to Bombay in the holidays. She changed her mind. So the correct answer is, my aunt did not go to Bombay in the holidays. That's the negative. So we change it from went to go. Went is the past tense, but when we use did not, we go back to the present tense or the base tense. Next one, number 3. He obeyed the rules of the game, right? And that's what he was supposed to do. But we know he did not obey the rules of the game. So the correct answer is, in the negative, he did not, and we switch it from past tense, we knock out the ed, he did not obey the rules of the game. Number 4, he came to school on foot. And that's what he told everybody. But we know he had a pair of shoes, okay? So when they ask us, we say, he did not go to school on foot. So we change or he did not come to school on foot, okay? Came is the past tense of to come to school. He did not come to school on foot is the correct answer. He did not come to school on foot. Number 5, he returned home after the show. All right, he went to a show. In fact, this is the theater here. You can see the show is over. They pulled up the curtains here. But he didn't go home after the show. He probably went out to the ice cream parlor, went out with some of his friends. So we have to tell him that he did not return home after the show. So we put did not, and we take off the ed from return, bring it to its base form. So he did not return home after the show is the correct answer. Now they want you to even know how to ask questions. How to ask questions in the past, okay? And how to tell in any tense what's happening, and you're reporting to people what's going on. So they want to have you be able to form questions. So the interrogative is formed, interrogative is another word for question. The question is formed by changing the position of did. Did is our magic auxiliary verb. It's very helpful. We put did and we place it before the subject. Now we know from our past English classes, the subject is the person that's being talked about, or the thing that's being talked about, or the place that's being talked about. So we put did before the subject, and we note that the main verb does not change its form. So let's look at an example. Did he see the movie? All right? He is the subject, all right? And so he went to see the movie, he's the subject, but he did not see the movie. So the person asking us the question, did he see the movie? That's the correct way of putting the question. And now somebody else wants to know about Ravi, how honest he is. Ravi's the subject, okay? And so you put did in front of the subject. Did Ravi tell a lie? We're being asked this question. The next question is, did Sham go for the picnic? Did Sham go for the picnic? Sham is the subject. So that's what we do. We put Sham, put the did in front of Sham and go for a picnic. This is the proper way to do it. So they give us some questions, see if we can do it. They've given us the answers. Now they want to see if we can do it. Okay? Rewrite the following sentences in the interrogative, which means questions. The first one is done for you as an example. Okay? So, Ravi slept during the day. All right? And then the question, because they want us to put a question there, okay? Did Ravi sleep during the day? That's what we have to do to answer the question properly. When they give this to you on your final exam, you'll have to do this correctly. So you have to change sleep, okay, is the base form. Slept is the past form, all right? So the question is, did Ravi sleep during the day? Not did Ravi slept during the day. It doesn't sound right. Did Ravi sleep during the day? Okay, that's the first one, and it's done for us. Number 2, we have to figure this out ourselves. Shekhar went for a swim in the pool. We have a picture of a swimming pool here. You can see behind the questions, a nice big swimming pool. Do you see Shekhar in the pool? No, nobody's swimming in the pool, all right? So the answer is Shekhar did not go for a swim, okay? Shekhar did Shekhar go for a swim in the pool? Okay? Shekhar went for a swim in the pool, but they're asking us, the question is, would we do the question? And so the question is, did Shekhar go for a swim in the pool? We have to change the went, which is past tense, to go, which is the base tense. Correct answer? Did Shekhar go for a swim in the pool? He didn't. Okay. Number 3 is he accepted the offer. We have to put this in the negative. So we put the did before the he. Did he accept the offer? We don't need to have the ed. We don't need the past tense of the verb accept. So the correct answer is, did he accept the offer? Number 4, India became a republic on the 26th of January, 1950. And they want us to ask a question, okay? So we have to use the word did. So we put did India. Now this is the past tense, became. Become is the base tense. Did India become a republic on 26 January 1950? And they did. The answer is yes. Number 5, they wanted to help the poor children. Some people wanted to be generous and helpful. But we want to ask the question, did they want to help the poor children? We use the base form of want. We don't need the ed because we have did. Did puts us into the past. Did they want to help the poor children? So that's the end of the questions we have in the third section. Let's do some homework, okay? I want you to add to your list of irregular verbs do and did. Do is the base tense. To do things, we have to do a lot of things in our life. And when we've done them, we've did them. You want to do a homework assignment. You've finished your assignment. You show it to your parents. You give it to your teacher. You did the homework assignment. So read the paragraphs one more time that I've read to you, okay? And answer the questions to the best of your ability, and then look in the back. Fortunately, you've all got the book now. And in the book, they have places for notes. You don't have to have a special notepad. You can take your notes down right on the side of the text. Very, very well done. So, also, I want to tell you what happened to Sunil Gavaskar. Not only was he a great cricket player, was he a great announcer, he has saved many babies and children around the world who were born with heart defects. He did very well as a cricket player and announcer, and he found out that a lot of children, especially in India and other third world countries at that time, were born with heart defects because they did not have proper nutrition. So what he does now is he goes around the world letting people know that certain of these children, they're only just born or a couple months old, they need to have a heart operation so they can live a long, healthy life. And he has helped thousands of young babies to live past a month or 2 months and live 50, 60, 70 more years. And the people that have helped out and have contributed have felt so good. They were able to do something nice for somebody else, another child that lives on the other side of the world. And this is what Sunil is doing right now. And every one of you, smart English students, has a purpose in life. And your purpose will be helped by knowing English and being able to communicate to people in an effective, loving way in English. So again, I want you to add the verbs do and did to your list, and we will join you in the fourth class. Om Sai Ram.